Good morning, friends. Now we are going to have our discussions. We had been discussing on the Boniface's therapeutic books in our last class, and in this class we are going to demonstrate the practical aspects of the how you can be utilizing using this therapeutic pocketbook. For that, I am trying to give you through the cases. Some patients history are there. The history are taken from the from the literatures, and my personal experiences also I have taken. So now I am uploading my PPT so that we can have the more understanding on this topic. So this is the topic is studies on Boniface's therapeutic pocketbook through case studies. As we have already understood that Boniface's therapeutic pocketbook is basically based on the understanding of grand generalization of the case. Everything has to be generalized. This is very important learning. And then there is also important that we are taking into consideration the modalities and as well as the sensations, where the mental part is taken only for excluding or making the analytical understanding and the final selection of the medicine. So let us go through some of the case now. You might have, and I have already discussed, told you that Monegasson, he was from the monastery in Germany, and he had grasped the homeopathic system in totality. And he was very much trusted physician of Dr. Henneman, and Dr. Henneman has made a beautiful remark about him. Boniface of Minister had studied and grasped my homeopathic system of treatment so thoroughly that as a homeopath he deserves to be fully trusted, and if I should be ill myself and unable to help myself, I would not entrust myself to any other physician. So Dr. Henneman wanted and he believed that no one can treat him when he will become sick. So he will take only the support of Dr. Boniface. So this much faith for our master Henneman was there for Dr. Boniface. Now let us say there is a case history of Dr. Carl Robinson. This case history I have taken from the writings of Dr. Carl Robinson. This is a old man of man of 27 years, not old enough, severe pain from an insect bite. And doctor concluded that brown recluse spider might have bitten the wound on the right posterior thigh 8 days earlier. By the fourth day, the area was grossly swollen and infected, and it was lanced. He was placed on the antibiotic. So after the infusion of the wounds, the antibiotics was prescribed. Again, next day, dark green type of the pus was discharged, which was removed and stripped with again, but it was very painful. It was observed on inspection that the skin around the ulcer was reddish purple. He said that 5 days earlier the center had been black with reddish perimeter. It was no longer black. So earlier it was reddish. It was black, but now it is reddish. So you see, usually in a normal case, the case when the wounds are there, they are usually red, and then it becomes black. But in this case, what we observe that if it was reddish, it became reddish after the blackness. So this is just opposite, and this is the remarkable things that we must observe when and at what time the symptoms changes has taken place. The area was quite painful, especially while sitting on the sharp pain. Pain was shooting down, and it was very painful also. So after a period of intense pain, his hunger increased. Now this is another important observation is that After the pain, usually after the pain, people don't have the hunger. But after the pain, his hunger was increased. For the last 4 days, he had increased thirst for the 7 up for the or fruit. So he wanted to have more and more drinks like the cold drinks and the fruit juices. He had started falling asleep during the day, very unusual fall. Now he was becoming sleepy during the daytime. Since the insect bite, he had been feeling warmer than usual. I find myself turning on the fan on. He said he wanted to be left alone. He wanted to left alone. He noted something trembling in the last 4 days. Now this case was analyzed. This case is purely physical pathology. The ulcer contains all the elements of the complete location. Here the direction of the pain is very important. Pain complaints, stitching pain, type it is the sensation in stitching pain is striking because of the intensity, and black ulcer with red perimeter. Modality pain worse, stitching aggravates. It is not useful. And concomitant was trembling plus hotter than usual, wanting air, only the trembling used. This important factors were the nature of the discharge, the sensation of the pain and its direction and descriptions of the ulcer, and one concomitant was selected. So we selected that it was selected the following rubrics: first green, then stitching pain downward directions, trembling inner, and ulcer black with a red perimeter. All these rubrics belong to the therapeutic pocket groups. So this is the generalization. Only these 4 rubrics. It was now this is the repertorial analysis. Uh, it is in the German, but you can see the medicines here: the Pulsatilla, Silesia, Rostock, Streptococcus, and then Asphertida, Merxol, and Phosphorus are covering all the 4 symptoms. Thereafter, we have the arsenicum, lycopodium, calcarea, sulfur, etc. So the patient, because you see, Pulsatilla, the total grading was highest, followed by Silesia, Rostock. So on the basis and the nature of the pain was also concomitant and in relation to the Pulsatilla. So Pulsatilla was given in 30C potency 3 times a day. He was warmer than usual and wanting air. This is another important thing for the Pulsatilla. Pulsatilla are usually hot patients and they want to be fans. Both general symptoms of Pulsatilla, as they were not the most uncommon symptoms, they were omitted through the help of to confirm the report. Because it was not taken into the repertory, only the you say the key points where you can arrive at the Pulsatilla, because this is common to the Pulsatilla. This can be found out during our final selection also. So it was not included in the repertorial analysis. So considerably after the 2 days, the patient reported considerably better. The shooting pain down the legs was 80% better. Some of the redness around the lesion was gone. The increased hunger followed by the pain was less. Now this is also better. The wound continued to heal up nicely for the next week. The case was quite simple using the therapeutic pocket hook, and which requires only total minutes totally. So within 20 minutes you have selected the case, and it has given you the wonderful results with a single description of Pulsatilla 30. Now there is another case by the Carl Robbins. The patient was brought by her friend, and with the friend's help, he gingerly walked up the walk with great effort, carefully stepped up the single step into the house. So step by step he was going. He was she was holding the head with her both 2 hands. After an hour earlier, her car was hit at the rear end while stopped at the line. So this happened because of the accident where the car was hit by the from behind. Has been no loss of consciousness. The impact has caused no damage to her vehicle, but she had been badly affected. She managed to sit down in the clinic all the while. holding her head with both hands. The finger of the left hand was pressed into the inner canthus and left eye, while the fingers of the right hand were pressed into the center and upper cervical spine. She did so, she explained, because she felt the severe pain between the 2 points. Her left upper extremities were shaking quite markedly, a kind of convulsive trembling, which in turn caused her head to shake as that hand was pressed hard into the corner of the eye. She said she felt somewhat faint. The pain, she said, went from upper central cervical spine through the inner aspect of the left eye. It was like a rod, she said. She had a sharp stitching and throbbing pain. And it was like, this is the language of the patient, it is like a round, thick bar with the point on it, he said. So there was a second less severe pain uh, from the same spot in the cervical spine, which traveled to the left shoulder and down the arm. She said the left side of her face and shoulder felt warmer than the right side through an examination. No differences was detected. The feet did uh, feel cooler than the hand and the head, however. I feel like my brain is shaking. This is another language of the brain. So observation is that it was noted that she kept her eyes shut when trying to look at her pupil and asked for her to open the eye, but tried as he could not bear the light, which was exclusively painful. So light was unbearable for her. She said her vision was dimmed and blurred. It was like a veil or mist. On closing the eye, she felt the pain deep in the left eye. Her mouth felt very dry. So now the assessment is complaint is the head. This is the location that we have to go. Pain. Sensation is boring and stitching. Modality, pressure, amulate. Concomitant trembling on the left upper extremity and the photophobia. Photophobia is considerably a modality or a concomitant. Now, analysis is boring outward, stitching outward, trembling outer parts, pressure amulets, light in general, and behavior. These are the rubrics taken from the therapeutic topic. And the medicines that came up was belladonna, falsetla, calcarea, drosera. So you see the marking again. Falsetla and belladonna are of equal mark, followed by calcarea 13 marks and drosera 9 marks, Cipria 9 marks, and until to 8 marks. So belladonna was the repertorial totality, and because it was also through the it has affected this injury has affected the eye. So for the eye symptoms, definitely also so it was confirmed with the in the Metra Medica Pura under the belladonna. Observation on this it has not. It is a typical presentation that is not strong and it has not any user. Usually in this type of the injury, people don't think about the belladonna, but because a pain had settled down in the eye, uh, causing a photophobia sensation, this belladonna selection was done. So now this is the confirmation Metra Medica Pura. Excessively violent Metra Medica Pura. I am just giving you the symptoms as noted in the Metra Medica Pura. Excessively violent headache of obscure or aching spooks which dart through the brain from all sides. Violent headache. Now another some obscure stitches in the left side of the orphan, stabbing through the head as with two-edged knife in the evening, cutting, tearing pain in the head that extended from one to the another. Then when she closes the eye, the S and aching pain deeply into the eyeball, dimness of vision, dryness of mouth, along with dullness of sight, trembling in all limbs, as if mist were before the eye was closed. Now she was given belladonna 30 c in water and responded within few minutes. The trembling of the left arm ceased and she stopped pressing into the eye and neck as the pain raged. She needed some repetitions over the next few days but recovered well. So learning from the case, it is example of how nicely body research repertory works when you have. And this is also the inductive method of working. How important it can be consult in the original proving of the symptom. Now another case of the Carl Robinson, a pregnant woman 6 days of her 38th birthday came with moderately severe nausea. Conceptions occurred mid-July with the nausea beginning 5 weeks ago. Until last week she had dry, retching and now vomiting some days. The nausea was mild in the morning with the severe nausea beginning at 3 p.m. It peaked every day around 5 to 6 p.m. when they might vomit. The vomitus was watery with no food. So increased salivation prior to the vomiting. She disliked water and knew with the pregnancy. She was liking water, but now during the pregnancy she didn't like water, drinking so much. She noted her body had become warmer. She sweated a bit during the sleep on the upper body, and she had increased desire for fruit since pregnancy, especially for the orange. So analysis, here we have complaints, nausea and vomiting and several concomitant. The complaint found its way into the analysis only as description, watery vomitus. The fact of the problem was periodic, was confirmatory for China, but not included in the analysis, nor it was a desire for the foods included. So rubrics were taken, water averse, saliva increase, vomiting watery and perspiration upper part of the body. And you see the medicine is Vomica, China and Stramonium are coming on the top. So she improved basically after the first potency, first dose onwards is 30 C in water, and Boniface's method displayed symptoms of the certain where they combined results with the China. Now this is another case from our clinic, and it was a case that I have taken on the 3rd May of 2009. This is our clinic case. Patient, he was a male and retired army man. He had his voice choked and couldn't speak properly for past 1 year. It was very difficult to figure out what he was saying. Nevertheless, with the help of his attendant and his medical reports, we figured out that he was suffering from the atrophy of the vocal cord. This had started after he had taken some allopathic medicines for knee joint pain. When the complaints had started, there used to be very little salivation, making the swallowing food very difficult for him. He used to take water for swallowing food. Presently, his complaints had resolved and there was saliva, but he felt obstruction. And with a sense of some load or heaviness in throat, he was diagnosed as atrophy of the vocal cord and had been advised operation by his allopathic physician, but he was apprehensive of going into operation and hence preferred homeopathy. Now, what we have taken that the complaint was choked voice with difficulty in swallowing because of obstruction sensation. Location is throat, sensation is obstruction, aggravation was the swallowing. So this is the symptoms that we are trying to convert for Boniface's therapeutic pocket. Then history of the past illness, heart attack he had 3 years ago, which complains of heaviness in the breathing. Mother died of 10 years ago. She had diabetes. Brother died a few years back from heart attack and after a long standing hypertension. And one of his son was epileptic, which was treated under the allopathic system of the medicine. Now, mental general anger easily from contradictions, aversion to change and like to his fixed lifestyle, and wanted to remain alone most of the time, said it gives him peace of the time. On observation, we found tongue was cracked in the voice and throat, feeling of some obstruction especially during the swallowing. He was liking pulse, fish and fruits, bathing desire, and then he was liking the winter weather. So we selected following rubrics from the therapeutic pocket book. Trachea was husky, not clear, obstruction in internal part, heaviness sensation of internal part, swallowing aggravates, trachea is a location, and cold in amulets, and mind as a conformation. So now you see the rubric. We have uh, so many medicines are common. Naxvomica, sulfur, calcarea, phosphorus, rhina, china. Now you can analyze the sepia. The face was sepia. It was followed up 0 by 1 in the 50 millismol potency we prescribed. And there was no change till 2009, and breathing joint pain was slightly better. Medicine we gave only the placebo. Followed on then second follow up is on 2nd of the August in 2009. There was slight improvement in the voice. His blood pressure recorded 130 by 80 mm of the G, although he had come walking to our center. Medicines, no placebo was given. Follow up again on 23rd August. The improvement in the voice was better. Now we can understand his syllable, and medicines was placebo only placebo. Again, the follow-up on in the 5th of the September, the improvement was as expected. The voice was becoming clear, and again we didn't prescribe any medicines, only placebo was given. Then again on the 16th of the December, the voice was not now comprehensible. The patient was satisfied with that aspect, but now he was complaining of frequent urination at night. His blood pressure was recorded as 120 by 80. Same medicine was repeated once again. And follow-up on the 6th of the January, the patient was overall better, voice was clear, urination complaint has subsided, and so he had the joint pain. So again, only the placebo was given and asked to come after the next month. On the 23rd March, the patient please came with and thankful as he had escaped the surgeon's life. His voice was clear, so it was slight impression. There was a slight impression of the atrophy which we explained would last for a few more months, and only the placebo was given. So this was the case now. And now again we are going into the next case of our clinic. It is a male, 34 years, retired army man. He complained of flatulence with frequent urge for stool. There was pain in whole abdomen, which was shifting in nature. The pain increased after eating. The ultrasonography of the abdomen showed that he had hiatus hernia. Now, complaints pain in abdomen with flatulence, and this is the complaint, urging for stool. So location is abdomen, sensation is urging for stool, aggravation is eating after. Sinusitis was there in the past history, which was operated 5 years back, and he had suffered from typhoid in 82. Father died few years back. He had no medical history except hypertension. The other family members had no disease as such. Now, mental general used to curse others in anger, ambitious to make more money, so he used to make plans regarding making money, anxious for improving his future, fear of ghosts and being alone, biting nails, music desire, miser in spending. Tongue was flabby, moist, pale, liking for food, meat and spicy things, dreams of girl and amorous, bath, desire, and likes himself. Topic selected: eating after aggravate, abdomen in general, urging sensation, cold amulets, pain boring, distension sensation, and anxiety fear. These were the rubrics from the therapeutic pocket. So we see the patient had all the 7 symptoms covered by pulsatilla, followed by the rust cough, nasomica, like this. So we prescribed sulfur in this case. Why sulfur? Sulfur is in the 6th position. but because of the totality understanding, so it was 0 by 1 potency. On 6th of the November, there was no changes in the complaint, but he was feeling a bit relaxed. Then again on 26th November, the patient complained of cough. The pain in the abdomen was also uh, not improved. No medicines was given. Then pain was much better by the 9th December. The acidity was also better. He said he was feeling confident in his office. No medicines was given. Then again on the 6th of the January, the pain and acidity was gone. He felt much relieved. No medicines. Then again on 8th of February, there was occasional pain after eating. Otherwise, he was much better. Placebo was given. And then again on 6th of the March, that he complained of some dryness in the nose. Otherwise, his pain and acidity was better. So no medicines was given. So now this is on the 1st of the May. The patient had completely gone. The pain has completely gone. He had some dissatisfaction regarding his job, complained about the late job hours, wanted to improve his condition. We explained him about the disease and asked him for the immediate blood and medicine was. So these are the cases that I tried to uh, present before you. All these cases, you see how we have referred trials. Because taking the things in a totality, it is important, and then analyzing and coming out of the room. And you see how beautifully with only few rubrics, 5 course rubrics, you can arrive at a particular prediction that will help you in deciding the case. So with this case history, I conclude my presentation, and thank you very much for having your patience here. You can have a questions on my WhatsApp 9431020672 or on my email ID risdps@gmail.com. Thank you very much. So we have come to the end of this session, and I hope we can have a. If you have more questions, you can ask me, please. I don't see any questions on the chat box, and so with this, I conclude the session, and I hope we can have a more discussion in next. So we'll come back again on next Sunday at 11 a.m. So please watchful and remain learning. Continued learning is the only thing that you can do for your life development, and this is important for your understanding. So friends, uh, it is important the practical way, learning that through the practical cases. Try to question yourself and question others, or have it chatting and sharing with all. You can get more understanding about the cases. Thank you very much.